Here at PCMag, we've reviewed thousands of products over 40 years. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great, and some of them are just plain weird. Here are some of the weirder products we've reviewed at PCMag over the years.
I don't do a lot of reviews, but when I do, they're pretty normal. But this one is the wackiest thing I ever got to try. This is the Razer Zephyr Wearable Air Purifier. They don't really call it a mask, and they tried to pass it off as N95. But really, it's just a colorful, fun thing you can wear. The lights are all controlled by an app, and you can also use a little button on the side to turn on the fans. You hear that? It's a little loud, but it makes it a lot easier to breathe in this thing. It is not technically suitable for wearing outside if you're trying to protect yourself from COVID, but it looks cool if you're out in the dark and maybe you're going to a rave or a party.
I've been reviewing devices for a long time, and sometimes you see things that are really just before their time. I had one of those pretty early in my career. It was the Fossil Abacus Wrist PDA, and that was a smartwatch. It was a full-on smartwatch. The problem was the touchscreen technology, which you now take for granted, was not really there yet, and you had to use this tiny little stylus, like a toothpick, to pick through the teeny tiny user interface on this early smartwatch, but it absolutely did not break through to the mainstream.
The $99 Happy Fork from Happy Labs was a fork that zapped you when you ate too fast. Okay, it was more of a vibration than a zap, but the goal was to get you to eat slower, which could reduce health problems such as digestive issues, gastric reflux, and weight gain. And it worked, sort of. Looking back at what I wrote in 2014, the Happy Fork did make me stop, think, and slow down while I was eating. The problem is, using the same fork to eat all of your meals simply isn't practical, not to mention the fact that it only worked with solid food. It was also a $100 battery-powered fork, so it's not much of a surprise that it didn't really catch on.
Basically, Budweiser built a projector and effectively a Microsoft Surface Pro into a big box that looked like a six-pack of Bud Light. The projector wasn't amazing. Surface Pro, not that powerful for gaming, but as a thing to show off, like marketing-wise, or just saying, hey, maybe you can win this, or maybe we'll just show this off at events, it was cool. And I spent some time playing with it, and it just a neat product, but not something I'd recommend having. It was also really bulky for the tech inside it, but it was still cool to see.
I mean, a connected piggy bank called the Portfolio is just brilliant. All it was a $50 piggy bank, and it would keep track of the change you put inside of it. It also kept track of bills. That's really all it did. It's kind of a wonder looking back now that I was able to write more than 1,000 words about it, but it is a good reminder that back when smart home products first started coming out, some of them, like the Portfolio, weren't all that practical, but they were also a lot of fun.
I've been reviewing phones for almost 20 years, and one of the strangest things I've reviewed by far has got to be the Nokia lipstick phone. This was during a period when phones were just wild. They came in all sorts of shapes, all sorts of form factors. It was well before the iPhone had slabified everything. And Nokia had a phone that really, really looked like a sort of Art Deco lipstick case. It didn't have a keypad on it. It didn't have a touch screen. You dialed it by turning a little scroll wheel, and the whole user interface was a scroll wheel and a couple of buttons. It was completely impractical to use, but it was so pretty, and it was so cool. And I really just wish that kind of imagination and those kinds of niche products still existed in the phone world.